Hi, Zoe Connolly here with Hospitality Spotlight. Wanted to talk to hiring managers and recruiters that have positions that have been open for a little too long. Positions where maybe you're losing money, or the organization is losing money, or the support team is getting a little frustrated because now they're taking on too many responsibilities. So the reason why, or there are several reasons why these positions could be open for a long period of time and they're not being filled. One of them is that you may have too many people in the interview process, or maybe they're not on a schedule and it's taking too long, and you're having several months of interviews with the same candidate, and they're just not getting to the next step. So a couple of things to look at here is reducing the amount of people in the interview process if you can. If you cannot, panel interviews. And panel interviews aren't always so fun, but what they do is they limit the repetitive nature of interviews, right? So they limit the constant questions that you're going to get in an interview that you've already answered 10 times, and you're not really getting past that. So a panel interview gives you an opportunity for everyone to hear those questions being asked and answered. It also gives them an opportunity to really go into the position itself and the culture and the company, and what else they might be interested in and what else they may need to know. Also gives a candidate the ability to give a little bit more about themselves, more information about themselves to the interviewer. So it actually works out being a little bit better, and you get more information that way. That's one way. If you can't do that, another way is just to get everybody on a schedule, right? So it's getting their availability within a week, getting the candidate's availability off the bat, and seeing how we can fit that within a week or two max, right? Also getting feedback from all the individuals in the interviews right off the bat, and connecting with that candidate throughout the process. So getting that feedback from both sides is really important. You want to make sure that the candidate is still interested, so that way you're not wasting anybody's time within the interviewers. You also want to make sure that there aren't any red flags or anything crazy is happening during the interview, again, so you don't waste anybody's time being the candidate on that side as well. What ends up happening with candidates is that if there are a couple of different kinds of candidates, one being an active candidate. So this individual may be unemployed, their position might be coming to an end, they're just ready to leave. So they are actively looking at new positions. And so, a position that may seem great, but it takes too long, it makes them feel like they're not really, like maybe it's just not the right fit, it's just not going to work out. So they are going to be open to hearing offers, entertaining offers from other employers. That way you lose that candidate. Second is a candidate that's inactive, right? You spark their interest. You reach out to them and they're like, oh, maybe I'll look. I'll be open to new opportunities. And so then they also start looking. It's just that time can really just have candidates drop really left and right. And it also may look like there's something going on, but really it's just scheduling the people involved in the process. Okay. Another reason why the position may stay open for too long is that you don't have everybody on the same page as to who the right fit is for that opportunity. Whether you're thinking, there was somebody within that role and they were just the perfect fit, so you're looking for that carbon copy, or the person has to hit X, Y, and Z, but maybe either the position has changed or you're not really open to who is interested in the opportunity. It's just something to look at. Another thing could be compensation, right? So, or the benefits of the role. So if the comp isn't market value, it isn't what is being paid to others and other individuals within that position, something to look at is the responsibilities. Maybe it's a junior position, not a mid-level or a senior. Maybe you can add bonuses. Just really reassess. I think we sometimes look at the budget and think, oh, no, this is what it is. But then what ends up happening is that, or what can happen, and I've seen happen numerous times, is that they'll employ someone within that position that was at that position rate, that comp rate that you were looking for, and they then leave in less than a year, or in less than 2 years, or whatever that may be, because they were offered market value, or it's a temporary band-aid fix. So it's going to end up costing you more to have that position open, recruiting for that role, when you can just really maybe look at and see if there is more room in the budget because of that. You don't want to end up wasting time and money. Regardless of the industry, I think it costs a lot to get somebody on board. And so that's also something to look at. I'm sure there are a few other things, but I just wanted to touch on a few today. If you have any thoughts or questions, please send them my way. I'd be happy to touch on them. Zoe Connolly here with Hospitality Spotlight. Have a great one.